Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the studio. All right, I got to check and make sure we're live streaming on the YouTube. It looks like we're good. Fabulous. It's good to chat with you this morning. I've got my desk full of projects to show you here today, so gotta shift some things around. Okie doke. First off, thank you to everybody who came to our fall party. Oh wait, I've got my slideshow on the wrong. Let's go back. All the way back. I was playing around with technology this morning. Hang on. All right, this is a slide I wanted. I was going to say thank you so much for everyone who came to our fall party this week. On Sunday night, both studios had this annual event. This is I think our 9th time doing it. Been open for 11 years, and so I know that we didn't do it the first year because we were only a few months old. We opened in August, so we didn't do it that year. And then we didn't do it the COVID year. But we've done it every other year since, and we've really enjoyed having everybody in the studio for our BYOP event and get to share fun food with everybody and just hang out and see people outside of classes. So I hope everybody had fun. I know your instructors had a great time. We're always taking notes for next year, so if you have any feedback for us or constructive feedback, be nice. But we would love to hear it. We do have chili winners, which of course I don't have here on me. Liberty, it was the Tingler family who won, and Platwoods was, let's see, I posted it to Instagram, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce it. Oh man, Gordonier family. So you guys are our winners of our chili cook-off. You'll get half off your semester tuition for spring, and I will be emailing you later today with a coupon code exclusively for you to use when you do your registration for spring. Okay. But thank you to everybody who competed because it was delicious and we really enjoyed eating your chili. Oh wait, I gotta go back. I am all out of sorts today. That's what I want to see. All right, so this is our calendar for the week, you guys. Now, remember our month started on a Wednesday, so we have more Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays this month than we have all the other days of the week. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there's actually 5 of those of this month. But Wednesday's Creative Explorations class, you guys have met 3 times, so this will be an off week for you. Same with Thursday Preschool Classes. You guys have met 3 times, and this will be an off day for you. So just a note, if you are in either of these 2 classes, please don't come to class this week. Wednesday, Thursday, multimedia and drawing classes, you guys are doing your week 4 lessons. That's why this says week 4 video. My Monday and Tuesday people, you guys are still in week 3. So not quite to week 4 yet, but we will talk about what you're doing this week. It's going to be the same thing we talked about in the video last week for our Wednesday, Thursday people. So, all right, that's my notes. Here we go. Let's go through each of the classes. So preschool fundamentals, there it is. Preschool fundamentals. So for our Thursday people, you guys are done. You wrapped all your classes this week. Friday people didn't have class last week, so because Liberty Public Schools were off, so you will wrap up this week. Same with Monday and Tuesday. So Monday, Tuesday, Friday, this is the last class of your month. We're going to be reading Elmer, making some patchwork art, finishing up our clay bowls. I did bring something to show you. So this is one of the bowls from one of our artists in Liberty. And it is a slab bowl. So we rolled out or pressed out a slab. We did this with our Lines That Wiggle lesson. So you can see there's yarn details in the inside of the bowl. Lines that wiggle, right? And then they were shaped over a mold. We just put it over the top or inside another bowl to give it its shape. And then we've been painting with acrylics on the outside. There is resin on the inside to keep the clay or the yarn in there nice. So this is one of the clay bowls for our preschoolers, just to give you an idea of what they're finishing up this week. Now we will have some off days. So if you're in preschool classes Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, just pay attention to either the videos or go look at your Sawyer schedule so that you know when we start. Basically, you can like as a rule, you can just say we don't start till November, and until the calendar turns over to November, you're not having class again. Okay, last class this week. For my K-3 artists, I brought some art to show as well. Now, Monday and Tuesday, you guys, last week, you built your clay. So this week, you will get your first coat of paint on that. For my Thursday art, well, I don't have any Wednesday multimedia classes. Thursday multimedia classes, You guys built your clay 2 weeks ago. Last week you got your first coat of paint on it, and this week you'll get your last coat of paint on it, and you will write your artist statement, and it'll be ready to go home. So everything I'm showing you here is from Thursday's class because it already has a coat of paint on it. But remember, they were building pinch pots, so I wanted to show you how different this construction can be. So this here is a rainbow pinch pot. The green is not going to show up with the green screen behind me, but it is a rainbow pinch pot that our artist has created. It has a lot of texture on it. She's got some areas that she can still fill in that has some clay showing, so that'll give us something to do this week. But other than that, all the surfaces have at least a little bit of paint on them. This is another one that we've got. Now this pinch pot is a bell, so it is upside down. Isn't that cool? So same construction, different kind of almost composition, the way that it was laid out, but they added a little handle. And look at that joining. That is some good clay joining. And again, we've got lots of great texture on there. This side is green, so you won't see that, but they still have the inside to paint, and so that'll be something that they can do this week when they come in. So these are Thursdays. They'll finish it this week and then be able to take it home. Just set that gently off to the side. Again, for my Monday and Tuesday artists, you guys are getting your first coat of paint on them this week. And then you'll still have one more week to get the rest of the paint on there. 4th and 5th in homeschool are making these creatures. And it was really wide open. They had like three-quarters of a pound of clay to work with. And then we did the building techniques, and we brainstormed some different subjects, but ultimately whatever they wanted to make was okay with us. So I brought a couple examples. Again, these are from Thursday's classes, so they have a coat of paint on them. This one's green, so I hope it shows up because it's amazing. As you can see, we've got this creature with this wide open mouth and some eyeballs up here, and look at the tongue. It's so fun. So this person here has most of theirs painted. The bottom side is not. And the reason is because you can't put wet paint down on our surface because as soon as you pull it up, it just peels off. So now they'll be able to paint this part this week, and then the whole thing will be covered and protected. So this is theirs, and then here's another great example of a little clay creature. This is our little unicorn or alicorn because it has wings. They've got their first coat of paint on there, and I'm just projecting. I don't know who this artist is. I have some notes somewhere because Grace got all the art out for me and told me where to put it back. But I'm assuming that they plan on putting some details in the unicorn itself. So that'll be something that they can do this week. Okay. Monday, Tuesday, you guys will get your first coat of paint on it this week. And my Thursday, Friday, or first Thursday, we don't have any multimedia classes on Friday. My Thursday people, you guys will get yours all wrapped up and finished and then be able to take it home. 6th, 7th, and 8th, 12th. Okay, so I've got some fun things to show you. So these are the canopic jars. They are 2 parts. So I'm going to show you this one. So we've got the top part and we've got the bottom part that go together. They have a ton of painting they have to do. So the inside of this one is painted. You can see they've already got that one black. And they've got the top of this one painted. I love the details on the little ladybug. So we got tons of painting to do. This is, again, Thursday, so they've got at least one class of painting under their belt. Here's another great example. I think I showed this one last week of our canopic jars. You can see the top comes off. This person has a ton of their surface already painted. So just maybe some details and some touch-ups, and they'll be ready to go. Good stuff. All right. Okay, so canopic jars. If you're in a Monday or Tuesday class, you'll get to this point-ish where you've got a lot of paint done, but not all of it done by the end of class this week. My Thursday people, you guys will finish this week, so we're going to take it home. Okay. Creative explorations. Okay, so Wednesday's class has already had 3 classes because the month started on a Wednesday, so we finished real early this month. There's no class this week, so don't come. Friday, people, we had the day off last week because Liberty Public Schools were off, so you will still have class this week. That'll be your last class of the month and the last time to do these clay stations and sculptural stations. Next month, we will move on to ink and pattern and the art of Henry Matisse and all sorts of good stuff. So Last time with these stations, I did get a report from all of the Creative Exploration teachers in the meeting on Friday, and they said this has been a big hit. Everybody has loved all of the clay and all of the sculpture. And so with that knowledge, now that we know our classes and we can incorporate some more 3D stuff, even when we're doing ink or even when we're doing watercolor, even like something that's a little bit more buildery, and hopefully you really want to make these classes for the kids that are in the classes. That's one of the things that we can do in Creative Exploration, so we want to make sure to do that. So big hits here, and we look forward to seeing you guys for ink. All right, for Drawing 101, so let's see. I'm going to slide my clay stuff over, and we're going to get into this pile of drawing stuff that Miss Grace has for me. I believe they're, of course, like totally reversed. So hang on. Here's some Drawing 101. So Drawing 101, if you are in a Wednesday class or a Thursday class, and I'm going to get my notes so I make sure I get this right. You guys did this jack-o'-lantern lesson this week. And so this was done through observation. Now we don't have actual jack-o'-lanterns in the studio, but we do have pumpkins. And so we looked at pumpkins. We talked about the colors that we see in our pumpkins, the textures we see in our pumpkins, the shape of the pumpkins, and we practiced our observational drawing skills to draw the pumpkins. And then we turned them into jack-o'-lanterns. In our warm-up for this class, we played with illustrative drawing and just drawing faces on kind of pumpkin shapes and how we could make different emotions come through with the different facial features. And so then we applied that with our jack-o'-lanterns. For Drawing 101s this week, like if you're in a Monday or Tuesday class, this is the lesson you will do this week. If you're in a Thursday class or a Wednesday class, you're going to be drawing leaves from observation. I had to look at that in my notes. I'm like, I don't remember. It's leaves from observation. So the instructors will be going out and doing some leaf hunting and finding different colored, hopefully, cross your fingers, some colored leaves because those are fun. And we'll draw those using colored pencils. Again, observational drawing skills. My 102 classes, which I believe all of them are on realistic. All of them are on Monday or Tuesday. So they drew a pumpkin still life. So that's what this is showing here. Again, these are the pumpkins we have in the studio. So we looked at them and we noticed their shape and their form and their texture and their color. And we worked on rendering that with chalk pastels. Still life is a really great way to work on our technical skills. So that was 102 Advanced Realistic. If you are in that class this week, you'll be doing haunted houses. So this goes back to linear perspective lessons. We will draw from our brains. So obviously we don't have an architectural house in front of us to draw. We do have pictures of houses because we want to get some architectural detail added to them, like siding and, I got chalk pastels on my hands. Trim work and gutters and, all sorts of fun like Victorian details. And so we do have some pictures to reference it, but we're not actually drawing the photo reference. But we are going to use the rules of linear perspective in order to draw it in a realistic style. If you're in 102 Illustrative, move my notes here. If you're in 102 Illustrative, last week on Monday and Tuesday, you guys did the hands and feet lesson. And this week you're going to be doing figures in motion. If you're in the Wednesday, Thursday class, figures in motion was your lesson. So we used mannequins. We've got drawing mannequins that we can pose in different ways. We're looking for dynamic poses and working with the human figure. So how do we get that character to represent movement? We're still working with things like viewpoint. So we can draw from above their character, below our character, straight on from our character. We can draw from the side by moving our viewer around. But we're also looking at the proportions of the body. So how long is the femur? How long is the humerus? How long is the torso compared to the legs? That kind of stuff. We abstract a lot of this in illustrative drawing. But before we get to abstracting it, we have to know the rules, right? Know the rules so you can break the rules. That kind of thing. So we worked with our figures and trying to put them in motion. And one of the things that we will work on, I'm seeing if there's another page for this one. One of the things that we'll work on is fleshing out these little stick figures and giving them, clothing and all those hands and feet that we just did that lesson with, and then hair and heads and faces, which we already did that lesson. Okay. So Monday, Tuesday artists, you guys do figures in motion this week. If you're in Wednesday, Thursday, and you just did that lesson, this week is a wild card lesson. So that's when we can go back and we can look at that heads, faces, and hair lesson if we were working on a character that we needed to refine. If we struggled with a foreshadowed thumbs up hand and we want to work on that drawing from the hands and feet lesson, we can do that. If we want to work deeper into the characters in motion lesson and start fleshing those out, putting clothes on them, putting faces on them, and putting our characters in dynamic poses, we can do that. So lots of options for the characters for the wild card lesson, and I'll be interested to see what they decided to work on. Okay. Drawing 103. All right, it's the last pile of stuff I've got here. So let me set that here and move my coffee mug. Oh, this is so green. I don't know if this will work. So my 103 realistics, the thought was to have them do a bug collection, meaning like a poster size with multiple little bugs on it. That didn't happen. But I got some giant bugs, which are really fun too. So, you know, sometimes lessons go a different direction, and I'm okay with that. So this is the beginnings of, look how big we're working, of a close-up of a butterfly. I don't know if you can see, but the like body of the butterfly is here aligned, and then the wing of the butterfly is, so we get some interesting cropping and compositional choices here. We're working through all of that great colored pencil detail. We got a lot of surface area to cover here. And this one here, so this is Liberty's class is doing week 3 this week because they're a Tuesday class. Here's another, and Platwoods is in the same boat because they have a Monday class. So all the realistic 103s are doing week 3 this week. So they still have 2 more classes. Here's another bug example. I love all the colors happening on that one. Okay. So, like I said, in that class we ended up with giant bugs. That's okay. But I think in other classes we do have the actual bug collection, which is fun too. So, just to give you an idea. I found another week 2 one. Figures in motion. Okay, I'll put that back down here. For my 103 people who are doing comic or illustrative drawing, remember we were doing trading cards? I have some trading cards to show you. So these are Peanut style, Charles Schultz style characters, and we're doing these really great little trading cards. They're laminated. So these ones are finished. Remember, this was a 2-part project. First was to create the characters and put them on cards, and the second part of the project was then to take these characters and develop a storyline for them, cast them in a 3-panel comic. So that's the next step. So good stuff happening in our illustrative class. Again, if they are a Monday or Tuesday class, which we have Monday, Tuesday classes, you guys still have 2 classes left to finish that. If you're a Thursday class, which I believe what this is from, if you're a Thursday class, then you're finishing this week. All right, couple housekeeping things. Just a reminder, no creative explorations class in Platwoods on Wednesday because you guys are done for the month. Also, no Thursday preschool classes because you guys are done for the month. Next, looking ahead. Now, this is fun. Now, it'll be in next week's video, so if you're like, I just take it 1 week at a time, Allison, that's okay too. But looking ahead at next week, the 29th, 30th, and 31st, that's the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday that I told you there are 5 of them. In the month of October, there are no classes, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. Regular classes. We have the special Halloween classes on the 30th. We're closed on the 31st because it is Halloween. So we will still be here. There's still makeups on the 29th here in Liberty. And we still have all the creative, or the Creation Nation, like online classes going on the 29th, and makeups. And then I just misspoke. There are no Creation Nation classes on the 29th. I misspoke. The 30th, the 29th still has makeups. The 30th has Halloween classes, and then we won't be here at all on the 31st. Okay. And we'll talk about it in next week's video, but for just those of you who are like wrapping around your head around next week, Monday and Tuesday next week, we'll finish up all of your week 4 lessons, and we'll still have a video on Monday that'll talk through that, and then we will have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, And then the following week is when all the November classes will start. Okay. All right. As a reminder, you can always find your class schedule. It is inside your Sawyer account. It is decided before you even register. Sometime in like April is when all of the schedules are figured for the next year. So not all willy-nilly, I promise. It's all set out. It's in your registration. You can find it in your account. We just try to make sure that as we come up to those days that we're extra communicative. Okay? All right. That's everything. I hope everybody has a great week. If you need me, I am here at the studio, and I will see you soon.